in silence, asking for 30 more years.
Dawn Upshaw is a Grammy-winning soprano and Metropolitan Opera star. One of the most beloved singers of our time. A few years ago, she was given the chance to commission a new work for soprano and orchestra from any composer in the world. Her choice? Jazz musician Maria Schneider.
It was especially her recording Concert in the Garden that I just went kind of nutso. So I started looking for places to hear her music and her band in New York, and they play at the Jazz Standard. I knew that she hadn't really written a piece before for singers, certainly not kind of for classical singer.
Maria Schneider is an NEA jazz master with her own shelf full of Grammys, including one for her collaboration with David Bowie.
I especially love her sense of melody for a singer. This is fab.
The result was Winter Morning Walks, a song cycle based on a collection of poems by Ted Kooser.
I just fell in love with his poetry. I don't know if he had just won the Pulitzer or if he had just become the U.S. Poet Laureate. There was something in his poetry, the expression, that felt so much like home.
Maria grew up in a small rural town in Minnesota. Ted Kooser is from Iowa and now lives in Nebraska.
His poetry is so expressive. It captures humanity and just the simple things about people and makes you almost feel like crying. I found the book Winter Morning Walks. He had cancer. He was going through a pretty brutal treatment. He couldn't be in the sunlight. He was getting depressed. He wasn't writing. And then one day he got a little more energy and decided to go for a walk. And he came home and wrote down a poem after his walk on a postcard and sent it to Jim Harrison, who was a close friend of his. And then it continued, and he wrote 100 poems after these walks.
Walking by flashlight.
So there's Walking by Flashlight. Walking by flashlight at 6 in the morning, my circle of light on the gravel swinging side to side. Coyote, raccoon, field mouse, sparrow, each watching from darkness, this man with the moon on a leash. That's classic Ted Kooser. You know, the idea that, you know, all these little animals are seeing the light of this flashlight and thinking it's a moon on a leash.
Flashlight at 6, at 6 in the morning. My circle of light on the gravel, swing, 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 side to side.
The New Jersey Symphony featured Winter Morning Walks during its annual Winter Festival this year.
I feel very strongly that I have to be the champion for female composers' music, especially of such quality. I mean, it's one of the top-level songs you have ever heard in recent years.
How important it